2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go! Thursday show, June 5th, 2025. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like. Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. If you're watching on X, good afternoon to you. Braylon out today. Anson in. Anson's in every day.
In a tie, too. Stole this from my man, Ermanni.
How you doing, brother?
I'm excellent. Always good to work with you, my friend.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And so I walked in here straight from the television, you know, and then, of course, I had my tie on, and I had to get the tie off. So
Undo that top button for me, please.
It is.
No, that
You
one.
want this one
Yeah,
on,
breathe in here,
Oh,
baby.
wait,
It's summertime.
No.
What's going on here?
Anson, I'm not as good looking as you. Nobody wants to see a bunch of
Cap.
hair pouring out.
That is cap.
Jeez, my goodness. Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, buddy.
What's up, fella? Good to see you. Good to hear you. I'm hearing like a little wacky noise in my ear. Am I coming through okay?
You sound good to me.
Everyone can hear me?
We do need to know, chat. Can you hear the Master
guys?
Maz?
We had a little bit of audio issues, perhaps. Here you go. I'm going to forget that. Oh, never mind. I was going to say.
The chat might not
put it
want to
back
hear
on.
me. Some of the chat definitely does not want to hear me. But the ones that do, let me know if you can. That's all. Let
We
us
had
know.
some audio issues, and we're playing around with the microphones over here, and Maz is on the stick mic. We've got all kinds of things going on, but it sounds like everybody's good.
Yep, they're saying yes in the chat.
good.
All right.
Where
There
is
we
it?
go.
We're good.
Airplane Maz, but perhaps it's all good. Pete Spivak, Ricky Burns in the house. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How's everything, man? I can't complain. The weather has been a little crazy. Didn't they say it's supposed to storm yesterday?
I'm
It stormed
so
today.
look, I don't want my mood to be determined by the weather, but I am so over it.
I hear you.
Aren't we over it?
Yeah. I just want them to tell me the right thing, because they said it was supposed to be storms yesterday, but it wasn't, and then there was storms last night and this morning. I don't know. I'm confused.
Gonna be crazy. Anson, before we get to you, and I want to talk about the cards that you have in front of you, just while we're talking about the weather, Tom Mazaway, you got a big situation at the Mazaway household this weekend.
We do.
And anytime you're hosting a party, you want good weather. Have
You're
you kept an eye on
Yes.
the local forecast more than you normally would?
For like a month. My wife has been checking it daily. I've been checking it this week. My daughters have been checking it. Knock wood. Saturday is looking pretty darn good.
Pool open?
Thank you, Derek Kevra.
Is the pool open?
The pool will be open.
Better be.
The
Bobby
pool is
Travels.
open, not to adults.
I'm bringing my
Only to
bikini,
the-
man. What are
only-
you talking about?
Only to the kids.
Can you give me a little
No way.
background? Can you give me a little background on what the house has been like this week as
Oh
you
my God,
prepare
this
for
week.
said party?
Sure. Let me catch up for the past month. I'll just do it really quick. I had a daughter graduate Michigan State, Lily.
green.
Congratulations. That's my oldest.
Go green, go
She
white.
then went 3 days later and went to Europe for a month. She comes home.
oui.
Oh, during that month, she gets a job with the Tennessee Titans.
Go Titans.
So we got to find a place for her to live in Nashville. During the which, my daughter Maddie graduates high school. So we're throwing her a graduation party. About 150 people in and out of the place on Saturday. And Lily has to move on Sunday. So we've got a party that we've been preparing for a month. And then I got to move my kid to Nashville on Sunday. And then my 21-year-old, we had to have her a big party when she turned 21 a couple of weeks ago. So I've got my sister, brother-in-law, and my two nieces coming in this weekend. They come in tomorrow morning. Jen, Jersey Mike,
Jersey Mike will be.
Yeah.
Julia and Gabby. Jersey Mike will be behind the bar taking care of you.
I'm going to be drinking.
He'll be drinking. So I can't explain to you what my house looks like right now with all of my daughter's clothes, shoes, and life for the past 4 years for Michigan State. It's all over the house right now. And we got to fit it in a Chevy Impala and send her to
man.
Nashville on Sunday.
So are you working on Monday?
I'm supposedly working on Monday. Yeah.
Are you coming back? Are you staying in Nashville?
You better come back, bro.
I'll probably be here on Monday. We've got the golf outing.
Oh,
So
that's right.
I
God.
planned it around that.
So you've got Saturday, Sunday, and a busy Monday?
Yeah.
Who's going to clean up the house on Sunday if you got to wake up and go to Nashville?
We're all going to chip in. That's all we can do.
What can I do to help you?
You can just come and smile and be happy.
I'll talk to everybody. I'll shake everybody's hand.
You don't like that.
I love talking to people.
I know, but it's your weekend off.
No, not when you go to a party. When you go to a party, you know
And here's the
people are going to want to talk.
Now
You're a
here's the
celebrity
killer.
too, bro.
Anson, that is
true.
irregardless of
That
celebrity
is not a word.
status.
That is not a word.
Regardless. When you go to a party, you're going to be forced to talk to people.
That's true.
You especially, my
What
friend.
about you?
They don't know who I
Handsome
am,
guy
man.
like you?
I mean,
You
I'll
kidding
take it,
me?
but I'd be
Eligible bachelorettes and
at the college graduation, not the high school graduation.
There'll be college girls and
Well,
boys
never
there.
mind then.
So
Never mind then.
Here's the
Audible.
kicker. Saturday is the Belmont Stakes.
Yes,
one of my
right.
favorite
we'll
days
have that
of
on
the
the
year.
outdoor
that's-
TV.
that'll
The
be on the
projector outside.
We'll
Let's
have
go.
It, we'll have it on outside. I will be, of course,
Yes.
inside watching that race.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Yeah,
you
was
need-
the glare from the TV too much out there, man?
Yeah, it's going to be too loud out there. I need to hear the race call by Larry Coleman.
You know where I'll be.
You're going to be with me.
With you.
I was going to say, at the outdoor bar, will there be one of those?
And the Cubs and
Yes.
Tigers. I get to miss the best series of the year this weekend.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Why do
Standing room only tickets.
Do you have an outdoor projector going? Because I want to watch the Cubs game.
I do, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the same. I want to be at the game.
Now, I need you to either substantiate or crush this rumor right now. I'm hearing Doc Pierce has set you up with a studio apartment in Nashville. Is this true?
Oh.
Oh,
That is not true. I
That is
wish
not
to
true.
God Dr. Pierce had a place for me to have my kids.
I'd be
move in.
visiting.
Dude, we should have asked Dr. Pierce about that.
That's
Here's
a good point.
thing. Out of all the teams that could have picked Lily, she got picked by the Titans and she got picked by the Lions. She chose the Titans because the Lions called after. So she stuck with with the Titans. She's kept her word. But Kathy's family all lives in Nashville, Tennessee.
Wait a minute.
So she's going to move in with Kathy's cousins for the first couple of weeks, month, whatever, until we find a place.
Kathy
Wait a
is
minute.
Mrs. Mazaway? Or
Mrs.
can we
Maz.
clarify?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Kathy is Mrs. Mazaway. I did not hear about this Lions offer.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened with that?
3
What's
days.
that?
News to me, too.
3 days after she accepted the Tennessee Titans gig, the Lions offered her a position in one of
Lions
their
fans.
departments.
What did she feel about that?
She was hurt, obviously. But when it comes down to it, you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. That's the way we look at it. That's what I told her. And what kid, 22-year-old, wouldn't want to go live in Nashville for a
She
year?
has to live in
Yeah,
Nashville.
you gotta
Yeah.
do that. You gotta do
It's
that.
a sweet place.
So although it's going to cost us a pretty penny and cost her a pretty penny, because guess what? In November, the clock starts. Start paying back those student loans.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
The smile on his
The
face.
clock.
And you can't find a place in Nashville for young
2,500.
women for under $3,000 for two people.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
and she ain't making much.
That is the whole thing about living in Nashville and going. I mean, Nashville is, when I graduated from college, everybody went to Chicago or New York.
Yeah.
Now, at Michigan, a lot of people went to Chicago. And I would assume same for Michigan State. But Nashville feels like the new going
It
to
is.
Chicago.
It is.
I like that.
It is the hot place, and it's getting better and better. Actually,
They need a baseball team.
they
Yeah,
do.
that'd be good,
They
yeah.
certainly do. They have the Nashville Sounds, the AAA team, but they don't have a pro team. It's hot there. You would need.
Well, they have the Tennessee Titans, but
They
that's
do.
it.
Titans are building a
Predators,
new
right?
stadium too.
What's that?
Predators. Nashville
Nashville.
Predators.
They got
Oh, Nashville
Predators.
Predators. Duh.
Right down there, right in downtown Nashville, is the Predators Stadium arena, and then of course you got the Memphis Grizzlies, which is a few hours away from Nashville.
They should move the Miami Marlins to Tennessee.
I love that.
That's a good idea.
That's a great freaking idea.
That's a
They
great
should
idea.
move them.
Nothing like those old Tennessee Marlins.
You know what?
Well-
they had 4,000 people
Yeah.
for a professional baseball.
No, they
game.
had 187 for the Colorado game. 187.
I'm talking paid attendance. Never mind the people that showed up. 4,000 people? How did they
That's
keep the
unheard
lights
of.
on?
I really would love to go to a White Sox game against the Tigers in Chicago when there's 200 people in a stadium. That
Oh
is
my
an experience I want to
Well,
try.
a lot of Detroiters show up on the road in those
We
White
travel
Sox
strong,
games.
brother.
That's no doubt about that. Anson, what do you got going on the desk here?
I'm so glad you asked.
Tell me
because
about
once
that.
again, we have a fantastic Super Chat prize. I know, I believe I
Super
saw-
Chat's already gotten going.
They
here, by
know the
way.
deal. Michael Wary got in there first. Randall Small. So where do we crash the party Saturday? I will secretly put up Maz's address at some point today. Michael Wary says it is raining now. Game starts soon. We'll see if it starts. Hopefully it does. Michael DeVries, if I win the wheel today, give it to the slot that just missed. That's fun stuff. So basically, the one that
wow.
just passed, he's rewinding it back.
I gotcha.
Good job, Michael.
I gotcha.
Just a little breakdown of what we have. You guys really did enjoy these. Joel Simcoe, the original artist of Garbage Pail Kids. Those are the Craniacs first series. You're going to get 2 of those. You're going to get the Ball brothers. No Leangelo, but you're going to get some Lonzo and some LaMelo. This is soon to be again Detroit Lions Zadarius Smith. Got to throw some, junk wax 80s Tigers in there. Tyler, not so much a hero. Travis Kelce, Pfizer Swift, a man that Mr. Pete has been calling Kerry Bonds.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Former stalwart at center, Mason Plumlee, a Cecil Fielder Tigers
Wow, that's
schedule
big
from
league
way
right
back in the
there.
day. Some original pro set, and another former momentary Piston, Joe Ingles. So we'll be sending these home with you guys today. Whoever gets that, whoever gets in the wheel, and if it is our boy, we will rewind it one
What
for
time
you.
do we do the wheel today, Anson?
We're going to do that at 3:55, and you have until 3:50 to get in. And AOJ Bo, you have until Friday to get us your address. Otherwise, this is going in with the Friday finale prize. You know we always pump it up for Fridays.
Pump it up.
Hour and a half rain delay last night, guys.
Oops.
They might have to wait it out again. And then the ugly game after that took about 3.5 hours. It was till midnight baseball.
Those
after
scrappy
midnight.
White Sox.
I know.
Scrappy.
It's when you're playing a bad team like that, you play bad. You play down to that competition.
I truly believe that.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
When
That's a
you
fact.
play good competition, you play up to that competition. When you play a bad competition, you play down to that competition. Just look at your own life, look at your own job, whatever you're doing, and those people in look at your life, your friends. They either pull you up or they pull you down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's the way of the world. Last night, Tigers take a 4-0 lead in that game, and then the White Sox claw back, Anson. They tie it 4-4, and it was a bloop. I wouldn't even call it double, even though it says RBI double in the box score. A blooper that just gets fair. It reminded me of a scene in Major League where it's like, I got it, you got it, nobody's got it. And Colt Keith winds up on second base, and the Tigers score the go-ahead run. 5-4 winners. Win number 41 for the Tigers.
No doubt. And these Tigers are another set of cardiac cats. We've seen it for a couple of years with the Lions being able to stick into games and pull them out at the end. And that's all that we've seen basically since the Dodgers series, the opening series of the season, when those guys had close opportunities and almost did it. They learned their lesson, and series after series, if there's a game to win that series that's close, they're winning it. If there's a game to come back from, they're going to do it. And, I'll go back to what I said yesterday. Anytime we lose, I go and I see Microwave Nick. If he's not worried, I'm not worried. But these guys, they're either blowing teams out or they're giving us something to just go wild about in the ninth inning. It can't get any better.
No, it's been really fun to watch them this year. And today's getaway day. Let's see if they can get this one, win 3 out of 4. You don't really want to split with this team. They've won 8 of 10. A couple of those games were 1-0 games and barely winning, but they're winning. And that's all that matters. And as long as they stay healthy. You notice they didn't pitch Scooble in this series.
Casey Mize will pitch today, right?
So Scooble night is tomorrow against the Cubs again. It is standing room only tickets available at Comerica Park. Listen, guys, the weather is going to be pretty damn good this weekend, thanks to Derek Kevra and Mother Nature. But if you really want to see it, you haven't seen this team, this might be the time for you to go see them against the Cubs, who are one of the hottest hitting teams, minus yesterday's game, in the league. They're one of the top offensive teams in the league, and this would have been the '84 World Series. You bring it up a lot, right?
Yep.
Should have been. Cubs blew that series, and the Padres wound up coming in, and you know the rest. Goose Gossage against Kirk Gibson. So here we go. Tigers, winners of 8 of 10. Try to win today if they can get this one in, and then at home tomorrow.
And it might be, Anson, a case where this could be a preview of the World Series once again. I will say one of the things that I'm going to keep an eye on has nothing to do with what happens in between the lines. I really want to see what the home plate club looks like this weekend. Because if you've got 120,000 people there, you're selling standing room only tickets. If that home plate club, if those home plate seats are not filled, I think we can start getting into panic territory. Because as a viewer of Tigers baseball, I think it makes it look like there is nobody in the ballpark when every pitch you see nobody sitting in these seats. It's a terrible visual look.
You know, I haven't been to a ball game this year. How is the entire stadium? Have fans
Full.
caught up yet?
Full.
It is.
Full.
Fantastic.
Not during the week,
Well,
but pretty
Sure.
damn crowded.
Exactly.
20+ thousand during the week.
and it's
That's a lot.
honestly, it's just like now at the they switched the Pistons end. So now at the visitors end, they've got those club champagne style
Right.
booths, and I hate the look of that. I mean, it was cool when AG was in there with his crew, but this whole luxury ultra box, champagne service club style seating, nightclub style seating. I get why they're doing it. We talked about how the Knicks hand select their front row seat people so that they can have that big event and they can look so good on the camera. But, this is Detroit, man. And it's like when you look at the divide between the blue-collar class that drives our fan base here versus the people that are spending on that stuff, save that crap for New York, man. Save that crap for L.A.
And, Cody Engel is right. Based on the Tigers website, they don't sell individual games for that home plate club.
Really?
Yeah, they don't. That is season ticket only. And apparently they are sold or accounted for. Now, whether you get butts in seats is another thing. And I agree. If you have a party, that party place isn't even open yet. I mean, the place where you go, the restaurant, the bar where you get all you can eat food and drink and everything like that, that's not even open yet. At the same time, it's a terrible look visually when you're watching the game on television and nobody's behind home plate. It looks like nobody cares about your ball club. Meanwhile, if you just pan that camera a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, you'll see an entire full house with standing room only and a rabid fan base. What I would suggest, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face, take some of those people in standing room or Tigers employees and make them seat fillers for the game like you do at a talk show. I had mentioned in the past I went to a Saturday Night Live and a tour and a Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon tour, and employees in the building are being seat fillers, so it doesn't
genius.
look like there are any empty seats. Like at an Academy Award, make Tigers employees sit in there or standing room only people sit in there, and when a ticket holder comes, you leave. It's that simple. That's the deal. And especially for the Tigers employees, I don't think that would be
Just like Kramer at the Tonys.
That's what I was
Absolutely.
trying to tell
Yeah.
Tommy. Yes.
so.
Seinfeld reference, by the way.
That is just something that I think needs to happen because we shouldn't be focusing on how bad the crowd looks.
Well, and I'm not sure what their rules and protocol are for that, but I know at I want to say LCA as well as Ford Field, when they have concerts, they have those ultra luxury seats where you get your own server. You don't ever have to leave them. They're bringing you food and drink, and I think it's even inclusive. Those are not transferable. You cannot sell that. You cannot go to
I don't believe you could sell the home plate club tickets
and
either.
that's
if
a
you had
massive
it.
problem. because now you've got to find somebody in your family or your friend group that you've got to just either sell them to or most likely give them to. And if you can't do it, and especially in a market like Detroit where everybody's not made of money like they are on the East and West Coast, you've got empty seats.
Right.
I would think you could sell those. I mean, you could sell the Champions Club tickets.
Maybe you could.
I'm pretty sure you could sell
I
them.
can't. Maybe you could. I can't remember. But
Like if you're a season ticket holder,
maybe earlier in
you're
the
allowed
season.
You're allowed to
I
do
can't
it.
remember if you could or not.
I'm
to
pretty
be
sure
honest
you
with
could.
you, I thought there was something that you can't sell them. Maybe you could transfer them, but you can't sell them. Something along those lines. I don't remember what. Either way,
Doesn't matter. I'm not
this
gonna be
is-
able to sit there.
Either
anyway.
way, this is one of those series though where you just want everything to be perfect, from the weather to the fan experience to the games on the field, in everything in between. And Scooble is going to pitch on a Friday night before 42,000 people. It doesn't get any better than that, in my opinion. This is what I feel like we as Tigers fans were robbed of last year. And it was almost like what they did at the end of the year, going 31-11, ultimately 31-13. They lost the last two games to Chicago when it didn't matter anymore. But that 31-11 stretch was literally just a 31-11 stretch. It was kind of miserable baseball up until the end of that season, and you almost missed out on the excitement of the season. You missed out on watching the games on TV because they weren't on TV. Bally Sports Detroit was
Stream East, guys.
Stream East. Bally Sports Detroit was off of all of our television sets if you had Xfinity, and the app sucked. The team sucked last year up until that point. So you didn't have this unbelievably awesome ride, and I think the journey is part of what makes a season, the story of a season. It makes it, Sawyer Gibson Long pitching. I mean, guys like that, stories like that, what Javi Baez is doing, what Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, three Tigers that have 13 or more home runs at this point in the season for the first time since 62, I think, or
Zach
something.
McKinstry was carrying his team the first part of the season.
Exactly. I mean, all of those stories make it so exciting as the season continues to build. And a series like this, Anson, against the Cubs is kind of like a mid-season classic.
It is, and the Cubs are top 5 offense. They're playing very, very well. You get a lot of people that are going to be coming in from Illinois. I do want to shift just a little bit on the Tigers right
Sure,
now. You brought
please.
up Colt Keith, and Colt Keith is a guy that everybody was super excited for coming up as a prospect. Last year wasn't exactly what we had hoped for. Hit 260, sitting right at not where we want his OPS. What he's done this year, he's not hitting the ball quite as well, but he's cut his strikeouts way, way down. And I think that this is a kid, may not put it all together this year, but in the next calendar year, I think that this guy is going to make a lot of us forget about the Bregmans and some of the other guys that we weren't able to get this offseason. So I guess I've got 2 questions for you guys. We talked about this a little bit early in the week. Do you think that we're going to be buyers at the trade deadline? I certainly do, and I'll give you my reason for it after you answer. And then on top of it, who do you see out of our minor league system that comes up and helps this team this year?
First part of that question is yes, absolutely.
Should.
Without question, I think they're going to be one of the most significant buyers at the deadline, not only because of the position that they're faced with, being the best team in Major League Baseball record-wise, being the best team in the American League, certainly record-wise. So they are going to go out and get some help.
Plus the Yankees and the Dodgers, they're not standing pat. You
No
got to
doubt.
keep up with them.
No
Agree with
doubt.
that.
As far as who is going to come up and help this team this year, I don't think that's the question. I think the question is, who do we have in the minor leagues
To trade.
to go out
Thank
and
you.
help us
And we
win
have
this
so
year?
much. We have so many shiny pieces to be able to move. I want to go back to that question, though, because we all talk, Baz, about, who are we going to make a deal for, who's going to go. We are buyers. I think Everybody in Detroit knows that's going to happen. My question is do we see a kid come up that makes an impact on this team?
Yeah. Kevin McGonigal, who is the best pure hitter in the minor leagues right now.
Crushing it.
The thing is, he's a middle infielder. Where are you going to put him? Are you going to bump Javi out now? I mean, for hitting, of course you would like that. And then at second base, you're not moving Gleyber Torres. I wish he could play third base. They're going to try Colt Keith at third base. Hell, he might be playing there today, for all I know. Parker Meadows, he's your center fielder. He is one of the best center fielders defensively in baseball. He started hitting the ball last year in the playoffs. His first game, he was terrific. Yesterday, not so good. We'll see what today. Well, yesterday he came in late as a pinch hitter, as a defensive replacement. So we'll see what he does today. But if this team stays healthy, again, they're a third baseman away, and maybe one solid, I don't know, I'll just say Aroldis Chapman.
What are you going to do with Javi Baez then?
I don't know.
If you get a third baseman.
Well, you're going to have to platoon him. You're going to have to move him around. He could play 3-4 positions. He could back up the center fielder. He could play third base.
And
he
that's
could play
why we got him.
Shortstop.
No
Right.
doubt.
A.J. Hinch loves a team where all his guys can play all different positions. So he's got a whole grab bag of guys to go with. So when you're going against a team, when the Cubs are coming up here, just stay in the American League, you don't know what the heck this guy's going to bring. But Microwave Nick Koloff from Night, he's our Tiger beat reporter. He brought up Aroldis Chapman. He's pitching for the Red Sox, who have lost 17 one-run games.
Yep.
They won yesterday 10-9, damn it. Anyway, if they fall out of the race, they don't need Chapman. That would be a nice arm to have, on the cheap
better believe.
to bring over here. The Tigers don't have a true blue closer. They close with Tommy Kahnle 10 times already this year, and he's been great, but he's not your ultimate closer. And I don't even know if Chapman fits in here. We'll see. But anything that A.J. Hinch has been touching has been working.
No doubt. You bring up A.J. Hinch. Before the break, I got to ask you guys this. If they end up being the number one seed in the AL, what was a better coaching job? What he did last year, coming from the 0.1% chance to make the playoffs, or dominating from the start to finish this year?
That's great.
I'm curious, because to me, last year was the Coach of the Year deal. What he did was unbelievable. But would he win it this year if he goes start to finish as basically the number one in the AL?
He finished like a banshee. But you know what? That's all like one season.
Right.
If you put the end of last season with the beginning of this season, what is that? 100 and how many games?
Well,
Right?
31 and 13 to finish it. I
Right.
hate saying 31 and 13.
Just
Okay.
over
because those
200
last
games.
two
I know.
games, but you got to
I
have
know.
it.
31 and 41. So 72 wins and
230, 234.
34 losses,
233,
right?
Well, but 230 some games total. So
41 and 22. They are 72 and 35.
Right. I missed it by
Come
one.
on. They're winning
That's-
2 out of every 3 games.
That's amazing.
yes, sir.
That's
Coach of the
fantastic.
Year type of numbers.
Absolutely, man. It's
107 games.
just keep
They've
it
won
going.
72 of them.
Keep
no
it going.
doubt.
We're not even at the halfway mark yet, and I'm already thinking of buying playoff tickets.
Right? Oh, my goodness. All right, guys. But I will say, and again, Javi Baez, say what you want. And, of course, there's probably no dispute, Parker Meadows, what he can bring to this team. But since Javi Baez has been moved to third base, he has not had one extra base hit. Now, 4-game hit streak, yes, great, but in his last 8 games, 0 extra base hits. And I don't know if that has some sort of confidence. We always talked about it. He always wanted to be a center fielder. He always wanted to play that position. He was playing as good a center field defensively, too, as anybody in the league. And I would stand on that statement.
I really think your position that you're comfortable at breeds confidence. You look at Xavier Edwards out of the Marlins, guy who was fantastic last year, struggled all year this year as purely a shortstop, went on the IR, came back, he's hitting over 500 over the last week at second. When you're comfortable, it bleeds over onto the plate. Get him where he wants. I want outfield Javi back.
Outfield Javi.
By the way, Mize,
He got
32 pitches
Yep.
to get out of the first inning. No
Yeah,
score.
he got
Left
he got
bases
yeah he got a
Yeah,
rough
he's,
first
he's
inning.
not going to last long here today.
No, he's
Pitching
not.
chaos.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll take a break. Come right back. But first, a message from Tom Mazowick.
Yes, sir. I'm sitting in it. The king, the pharaoh. That's right. It is the #1 massage chair that you can get. And you can get it from the Massage Chair House. Check it out. Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hill, Michigan. Not too far from Woodward Sports, or on the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Top brands for massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki. They are the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, has got that massage chair review channel on YouTube. That's the top-rated one. So take a ride right now. Go in, sit in one, and fall in love. Ricky, I couldn't get Ricky out of this chair to get in this chair.
I love
to
it.
talk to you guys
It's my
today.
mistress.
Check it out at massagechairhouse.com. Check that QR code out as well. It takes you right there. Take your choice. Go in for a test drive. You won't get a better test drive. Check it out right now. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak? Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Belegian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Calling all Tiger fans, join us for the White Claw Tigers Watch Party Tour. Woodward Sports will be hitting 4 of the bars, which we already did hit, but we're at it again, the 13th? That's next weekend. Join us as we hit McShane's, Nemo's, Second Best, and Old Miami. And that is next Friday, the 13th. We will be at Nemo's. Be part of the fun and see our reaction live on Woodward Sports to one of the hottest teams in baseball. The #1 team in the American League. Join Spencer and Easy, the heavyweights, on Friday, May 23rd for our first watch party at McShane's Irish Pub in Corktown. It's the White Claw Watch Party brought to you by Easttown Distributors and Ben Johnson Law.
And let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff like gimmies on the golf course. We like uncomplicated like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, sign in. Before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Lions have their final OTA today, organized team activity. It's a chance for the team to get together, a little off-season work before they break for the rest of their summer and come back mid-July for training camp. And today, Dan Campbell was at the podium. You know, one of the things that's interesting, too, today is the day of the Rags Remembered charity skeet shooting. It's a day where Frank Ragnow has his charity event. And I always thought to myself, because I was invited to this event before I was...
Have you shot skeet?
I have.
Okay, I've always wanted to try that.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I have. I was invited to this event before I wasn't uninvited. I'm not going to say I was uninvited, but there was no cameras there today at this event because of the retirement. And I was like, don't they have OTAs today? But this event was on the books. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, you know.
They knew.
You figured it out, Mr. Peabody.
Right. I was like, oh, okay. Well, maybe I guess he was just going to skip OTAs maybe for a charity event, but that
Maybe.
seems kind of wild. But Frank Ragnow retired last week, and Dan Campbell got pretty emotional talking about him at the podium today.
Start with Frank, man. Frank's been unbelievable teammate, football player, man of the community. Man, he's done it all, and he would be sorely missed, man. He, one of the greatest memories I have of Frank was divisional against Tampa Bay, 4th and 1. We run downhill to Craig Reynolds, man, and he's got big boy. And he hits him, and he kind of hits the knee, and then he has to get back up and tie up the block. We score, man. It was huge, this type of player he was. So he'll be missed. Anyway, love you, Frank. Appreciate you.
Have we downplayed what losing Frank Ragnow is going to mean to this Detroit Lions team, Anson?
See, I really think that this benefits us long term because he had a very difficult time staying healthy last year. I think that if the Lions were a 7-win team, he might have called it quits in Week 14. He's a tremendous presence in the locker room, in the huddle. I would not be shocked to see this guy have a role with the Lions going forward. But I think that the most important thing that's made this team go is the offensive line. And we've had some all-stars, obviously, some Pro Bowl type talent there, but it was the chemistry and cohesion of that line that made it work so well. And when you bring in a second and third round draft pick, guys that are highly touted prospects at the offensive protector position, when you give them a full season to work together, to create that chemistry, to solidify that cohesion, you have a team that's ready for the playoffs. As I mentioned, this could cost them Week 1 in Green Bay. I am picking them to lose that game. But I think that if you see Ragnow miss some games from Week 12 to Week 15, that hurts the offensive line. That hurts the entire offense. And now you're hoping that this guy with a toe that's ready to fall off is ready to play top-notch, 100% uninjured football in the playoffs. I just don't think that is a realistic ask of him and his health at this point in his career. That is why he retired. This will help the young guys, and this will help our offense going into the playoffs. We're going to miss him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to downplay that. We will miss him. But I think over time, when we see what this team is and this offensive line is going to the playoffs, going to next year, we won't have downplayed this loss.
Okay. There's no way this team is better than they were last year. We had Dave Burkett on Tuesday, and we asked him that question, and I totally agree with him. You can't possibly think this team is as good as last year's team unless everybody from the the injured list, comes back healthy. But you're still missing your rock, your center, the guy that snaps the ball to Jared Goff, one of the best centers in baseball.
Are you better at right guard? We still really
Right.
don't know that.
We don't know. We don't know. And Taylor Decker is getting long in the tooth as well. So we're definitely going to miss him. And they signed somebody yesterday, just as another fill-in guy, another Glasgow, another guy that can play guard and center. And you got a rookie from Alabama, Mr. Mullet. And we don't know what the heck is going to happen. And it affects the run game because Frank was the best against the run. Not only that, he allowed only 6 sacks and over 5,500 offensive snaps. So to replace that is impossible, especially right away. So I really don't care about 2 years from now, 3 years. I want it to win this year, and it really affects them this year. I hope that they can plug the hole and, I don't know, hang in there and get into the playoffs like they will. They're still one of the best teams in the league, but by no means are they better than they were last year.
Now, to start the season or leaving week 18? Because I personally, I have to disagree with, I asked them the question yesterday. Dave Burkett said that they weren't. I think they are better than the team that entered the playoffs that everyone in Detroit
Oh, yeah, that's different.
But-
they didn't have 22 players, Anson.
and that's what I'm saying, though. But like a
But
lot
if
of
you
these
give me back those 22 players, they're still not as good.
you don't think that they're see to me I think that they're every bit as good of the team that started week 1, and they're certainly better than the team that entered the playoffs without the 22 defenders you mentioned.
Well, yeah, that's not even a comparison. The way they ended the season, they ended it like they represented the Red Cross. That team was nothing. They had played their final championship game was against the Vikings. That was it. They were gassed after that. But the beginning of the year, Lions from last year, the beginning of the year, Lions this year, last year, to me, is better.
Can I ask you guys just a deviation of a Ragnow question? Not so much with what happens on the field, but what happens with Ragnow at this point moving forward. I was thinking about Ragnow and his place in the organization and how good he was when he played for the Detroit Lions. I mean, I consider him one of the best Lions offensive linemen ever to wear the uniform.
That's a fact.
But he was with the team 7 years. One of the years he was totally hurt, played 4 games. So basically 6 years. Is that long enough to be an all-time great? Is that long enough to have your name in the Ring of Honor? Is that long enough to have perhaps your number retired like Lomas Brown did?
How many playoffs games has he won?
1.
Ring of Honor. That's all it takes here in Detroit.
No, he won 2.
He did win 2.
Did 2, I
He did
guess.
win 2.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt.
But you understand what I'm trying to say?
I do.
Is 6 years
Well, he
too short a time, or does that not matter? I'm asking the question. I'm
well,
asking the question.
You can look back. Dom Raiola played a bunch of years, and they didn't win any playoff games with him.
Well,
And
I
he's
don't know
not
if that
going
was
into
Dom's fault. So
I
did
understand.
Matthew
So it's-
Stafford.
so it's not Ragnow's fault either.
Matthew Stafford's a Hall of Famer and won a Super Bowl and played here 13 years and didn't win a playoff game.
I know they had one taken from him.
So I mean, you have all of these great players in the organization that, you know, it's not their fault that the organization wasn't what this group is, what this group assembled.
That's a good question.
I just don't think it's a slam dunk, is what I'm trying to
Good
say.
question.
I mean, Vinny Johnson has his number retired. Unfortunately,
for what? One game, right?
as great of our town is in sports, we don't have the championships that I feel we deserve. We should probably have quite a few more. But the ones that we have, we absolutely cherish. Now, I know he hasn't won a championship, but when you think about how down this Lions team was for so long, he was a massive part of the resurgence, and he gave us 2 things that we've only had one of in most of our lifetimes, and that's those playoffs wins that you just talked about. So I would have no problem with it, and I see it absolutely happening.
Look, Michael Weary, this might be a better question. This might be a better question, okay? Forget about the even the Ring of Honor stuff. Is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
No.
Okay.
No way.
So,
Couple more years,
wait,
three
wait
more
a minute
years,
here.
maybe?
Wait a minute here. You are so definitive that Frank Ragnow is not a Hall of Famer,
Yes.
but should be 100% in the Ring of Honor.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I just said they're going to miss him this year. Bad. Until they get a center that they could depend on as like they depended on him. I didn't say Ring of Honor. I did say that they're going to miss him. Would I put him in the Ring of Honor? I don't know. I can't even think that far. Herman Moore. Is he in the? Is Herman Moore in the Ring of
Here's
Honor?
the Ring of Honor.
Is Herman Moore in the Ring of Honor?
What do they call it? The Lion's Pride,
Yeah,
by the
Lions-
way.
yeah.
Lions
Is
Nobody
he in
knows
that?
what that is.
21 members. Lem Barney, Lomas Brown, both should obviously be in there. Jack Christensen, Roger Brown. I don't have a lot of information on those guys, nor Dutch Clark, Lou Creekmer. I do know Jason Hansen deserves to be there, as well as Calvin Johnson and Webster's own Alex Kara should be there. Dick Night Train Lane, of course, Yale Larry as well, Bobby Lane, Dick LeBeau, Herman Moore, Barry Sanders, Charlie Sanders, Joe Schmidt, Chris Spielman, Dick Stanfield, Doak Walker, the running back, and of course Alex Wojciechowicz.
Yeah.
So, listen, there's half of that list are a little too old for my NFL mental dictionary, but I would have to say that just meaning what he's meant to this team, I think they'll probably put him in there.
When you look at Hall of Famers, the Hall of Famer who has played the shortest amount of games in his career, Gale Sayers.
Yep. The Kansas Comet.
7 years.
He deserved it. Dude, he was electric.
Terrell Davis, 7
Electric.
years.
Super Bowl champion. Migraine sufferer.
Doak Walker. I mean, this is
Migraine sufferer.
1952, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 1950.
Fun facts with Maz.
Doak
Yep.
Walker. You look
Fun
at
facts with
you
Maz.
look at everybody here. You know, Doak Walker, 67 games in 1950 to 55. Cliff Battles, 6 seasons in 1932 to 37. I mean, we're going way back.
We
they
had
put,
the
they
best-
put guys in back in the day.
Right.
They put them in a lot easier than they do nowadays.
We had the best quarterback and running back at the same time in Doak and Bobby Lane.
Yeah.
And we won back then.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. 4 of them, in fact.
Yep, they won.
Hey guys, more from Dan Campbell here. One of the guys that they are getting back is the fan favorite of the heavyweights, Malcolm Rodriguez.
He's not coming back for a while, though.
Nope, not getting him
Wait
back.
till you hear this.
When is Rodrigo returning? Here's Dan Campbell.
Is there a timetable at all for Malcolm? I know we've talked about some of the other guys long term.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be starting the season out. If I conservatively, November. Or maybe that's probably the best way to say it. Probably November, somewhere in there.
So 8 games.
Oh, God.
That's wild.
Yikes.
Now, he was a great fill-in guy. Played great special teams. Made some great plays. He got an interception against the 49ers in the championship game. I mean, the guy just puts himself where the play is. Is he the best player? No. But he was an important part of this team, and they're going to miss him. They're going to miss him.
What about Tyleek Williams, the Lions' first-round draft pick? They had a look at him at rookie minicamp, and then, of course, at OTAs. Here's what Dan Campbell believes of his first-round pick.
Tyleek hadn't practiced. He's done a little bit of walkthrough, certainly been in the classroom. I mentioned this last week, nothing's changed. These rookies, we're trying to get them right, man, before they get out for summer and we bring them back. We want them ready and healthy to go, full-speed training camp. But knowing what we know and where he's at, what he can do, we like what he is. We like where he's at. He is smart. He can get lined up. I know he's been grinding in the rehabilitation, the training, so that's good.
Tyleek Williams is going to be an impactful player for the Detroit Lions this season. There's no question in my mind. And he's just one of those guys, too, is going to rotate in and out. And he's going to show up big, I think. He is going to have to play big with Aleem McNeil not going to be able to start the season. Most likely, it's probably going to be mid-October before we see Aleem McNeil. So I think Tyleek Williams, a lot is going to be put on his plate. You're a first-round pick. You're expected in years past. If you're a first-round pick, you're an automatic day-one starter. You better be, at least. And Williams, they're going to need that out of this kid.
An impact player, as you said, and he's going to be a productive one. That's exactly what he was at Ohio State. The guy produced. I see him, especially early on while we're waiting for the defensive line to get fully healthy. I see Tyreek being the glue. And normally that's reserved for a 5-6 year guy, a guy that you can swing all over the place. He's going to be able to be moved. You'll probably even see him line up on the end at times. It's rare that myself or anybody else would see a rookie as a glue guy, but I think that they're going to be able to move him around and utilize him while they wait to get fully healthy, and he will produce.
This guy sounds like a non-entity to me, listening to Dan Campbell just then. And I know it's very early. It's June. But to hear him,
early.
But he says, I mean, this guy, but let me translate. This guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing right now. He has no idea how to do anything as a professional football player. That's what I heard from Dan Campbell in that statement. Now, he's got
You
plenty
got to
of
get that AI voice inserted in there with what Dan Campbell
Yeah,
really wanted to
exactly.
say about Tyreek
I mean,
Williams.
you know when Dan Campbell doesn't even want to answer a question. He's like, yeah. Like asking him, is the sky blue? He's not ready. He's not part of this team yet. He's a rookie. And he's a rookie that's not going to start right away. That's the way I took it.
We'll keep an eye on that. You might not be wrong. Guys, really cool. Dan Campbell is going to get a Lifetime Achievement Award from Texas A&M. This was really cool. He spoke about what that honor means.
RCs love you to death.
How about them Aggies?
I love this guy.
Isn't he great?
I love
He
this
looks like
guy.
he took off all that weight from
He
the
did. Oh,
offseason.
he's locked and loaded. He's a monster.
totally locked in.
He's a monster again.
Dan Campbell is locked in. Is that
God.
the greatest thing
I
you've
swear
ever
to you,
seen?
I mean this. I wouldn't want any other coach in the NFL.
No.
And I mean Andy Reid, too. I mean any other coach than this guy. Because this guy's got a chance to be Andy Reid. I promise you.
But for that to happen, they have to win the Super Bowl this year.
That's true.
I truly believe that. If they don't win the Super Bowl, and I'm not talking about getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, getting to the Super Bowl would be great. But you talk about missed opportunity after missed opportunity. That would be 3 in a row. Granted, they were healthy. They are among the best teams in the league. Look at that 3-year stretch with Green Bay. 13-3, 13-3, 13-3. They had Aaron Rodgers. They had what's the coach's name?
Oh.
The new coach right now,
LaFleur?
Maz.
LaFleur?
Matt LaFleur. I mean, we consider that era a failure, a choke job in that Green Bay They won 39 games in 3 years, but they couldn't even make it to the championship game.
You know, I gonna keep going back to the meeting that I was not present for with Spielman and the Fords when they decided.
You weren't there?
I wasn't.
You
I
didn't
was
get
not
your invite?
invited. When they were sitting down and discussing the future of this franchise, the culture that they were desperately in need of, to me, that was, we need to be a playoff team, or in the battle, for a legitimate battle, to be a playoff team every year for the next decade. And by doing so, we will have chance after chance after chance, and their hope is that at some point they're able to capitalize and actually win a Super Bowl. But when we start talking about missed opportunities, we haven't had opportunities for the majority of our lifetime being Lions fans. And when you talk about those missed opportunities, it just makes me think, oh, we've got to trade for Myles Garrett. We've got to make this big, big move so we can capitalize on that one-year window. Had we done that a couple years ago, we might not be looking at a window this year or next year or the year after.
Oh, we might have won a Super Bowl.
Maybe. It didn't work out for the 49ers over and over again.
49ers.
Well, I get that.
Plus,
And I
I'd
know
like to
that
go to
I know
2-3
you
Super
want to
Bowls.
trade the future for now.
I'd like to go to
But
2-3
I'm telling
Super
you
Bowls.
that what they talked about in that meeting was sustainability, not windows.
I get it. I understand. And both ways are great. I'd like to be really good for a long time, like the Tigers were from 06 to 14. 2 World Series. At least they went to the big dance. The Tigers have not, Lions have not been to the big dance yet. I just want to get there. Yeah, I would trade anything to be the 49ers for what they've done the last 10 years. I'd trade anything for it. A chance to win a Super Bowl?
Mike Shanahan's going to get fired this year if they don't get back.
Kyle. But yeah, I don't know about that, Ryan. They are on the they're better than a lot of people think. Especially if
agree with you.
If
That's what I'm
CMC is
saying.
healthy.
If they miss the playoffs, yes.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. I think they got to win a playoff game for Kyle Shanahan to keep his
I don't
job.
think you're wrong on that either.
Now, listen, man. You said they have to win a Super Bowl this year for Dan Campbell? I disagree with that.
I'm not saying he's going to get fired. Please don't.
No,
put words
not
in my
fired.
mouth.
But I understand.
Before the people start turning.
Yeah.
Before people start turning. I think they have to get to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And heaven forbid if it was a choke job like 2 years ago in San Francisco in a Super Bowl. You're there and you have a 3-score lead and you blow it.
Oh.
Getting to the Super Bowl isn't even enough, I don't think, at that point, right?
How many people lost money booking their trips to Vegas?
Probably, 24-hour return policy, so probably not much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Not the airlines I
Ryan
book.
with the exclusive.
The airlines I book, you book and that's it. You're done.
Going. You better get on that plane.
Absolutely.
Les Stanford Buick GMC. Great offers for everyone. Get a 2025 Envision Preferred all-wheel drive for only $259 per month. Try out the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation, $169 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV, only $699 per month. Get to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick GMC. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive.
And you need a new outfit with that new car, right? You're tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch? Go to shop.woodwardsports.com and get some new ones, all right? Red Wings, Tigers, Pistons, Lions, we got you. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads. Shop.woodwardsports.com. It is a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Get your Detroit sports merch there. We'll be right back.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ring Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Baligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media. X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Well, you guys out there know the Tigers are playing right now, and they are one of the best teams this year to bet in game, and you might as well scan that QR code above my head. Use that code word over there, Woodward 1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account, and when you do so, make your first deposit and your first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head. Use that code word over there, Woodward 1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Anson.
Hey, you want to look like Braylon Edwards? I'm not there yet, but you got to get your butt to Planet Fitness, and you know there's plenty of locations around. There's 50 in Metro Detroit alone. Thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you experience a squeaky clean gym, tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff. Oh, and it's judgment-free. Did you know that they also have memberships that include fitness training at no extra cost? Get all the perks with that PF Black Card. They got all kinds of amenities for you to enjoy. And again, 2,500 locations worldwide. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness gym or www.planetfitness.com.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight.
Yes.
Anson, you know, I will say this for Adam Silver. I think he's been a terrible commissioner. Terrible.
Amen.
But I will say two things about him. Number one, he got the television deal of a lifetime for these NBA players.
True story.
So you've got to give him some love for that. And he said something that was so spot on. So many people are talking about Oklahoma City and Indiana, the Thunder and the Pacers. What a disaster for the NBA. The two smallest markets are here on the game's biggest stage. Horrible disaster. And he quite simply said, would you think it's a disaster if the Packers played the Steelers in the Super Bowl? And the answer would be no.
No.
And you wouldn't say that the Packers, Kansas City Chiefs would be a disaster either. Two of the smallest markets in the NFL. So why do we say it in basketball? Why do we say it in baseball? Why do we only want big teams in hockey, in baseball, in basketball, but in the NFL, it's okay.
Well, it's really not just the market size. Nobody knows who these players are. Nobody's seen these players in the finals before. This is the dawn of a brand new era in the NBA. And I'm all for it. I don't need to see Steph Curry. I certainly don't want to see LeBron James. I'm over Giannis and Joker. I know those guys still got some great years left in them, but I'm at the point where I have to tip my cap to Adam Silver, and not for the reasons you mentioned, which are good reasons, but this playoff series that I've watched, I haven't watched this brand of basketball since the Going to Work Pistons fell apart, broke apart, traded apart, whatever you want to call it. This is the most physical NBA playoffs that I have seen in 20 years, and it is super watchable. And what they're going to have to struggle through right now is the NBA fan base and the future fans of this league getting accustomed to new teams. Y'all better get accustomed to the OKC because you're probably going to see him 3 out of the next 5 years in the finals. But at the same point, Halliburton, he's on that short list, that ad nauseum face of the NBA that everybody's talking about right now. He's on that handful of names right now. So what we're getting...
There's just one, isn't there? Isn't it SGA?
No, I don't think it's quite him because I was asked yesterday, who has more to gain and lose by winning or losing this series? I think that Halliburton has more to gain than SGA, as SGA has an MVP now. And SGA, I mean, everyone's picking them. Vegas has got them by a landslide. They've done things record-wise and the amount of points that they've beaten teams in the playoffs that no other team has ever done. So if he loses this series, now the whole conversation in the offseason is Halliburton the face of the future, you know, and there's a bunch of other names that are the face of the future that we're going to get a chance to see. We've got one of them right here in Detroit in our very own Cade Cunningham. I am geeked for this series. You know, I've been following OKC for 3 years. My guy J-Dub is finally becoming a household name, and that is what we're dealing with right now. The old guard, the pearl clutchers, they want names and teams that they're familiar with. Now, I've mentioned many times, I don't ever want to see a team win a championship that's never won one, or especially a team that has 1 or 2. I don't want to see them hit that 3 mark and be on the same level as the Pistons. But this is the Seattle Supersonics. If we dig deep and go back, they've won 1. They can win another. I don't think that the Indiana never have a chance in this series. They can steal a game, maybe even on the road, but I think that at most that is that. Now, what I do want to talk about is if the nation is on the same page as me. So we're going to look here and see who's rooting for who. The first shocker is in the Pacific Northwest for me. But it's not so shocking. We talked about it, Maz, before the show. Baltimore Raven fans, the Cleveland fans are not cheering for the Baltimore Ravens to do anything but burn up and die. You look at that, and the Plains, Kansas, Oklahoma, all those states that don't have a team, that is their team. And they get to circle that entire middle of the country as them. The other very interesting one is New York, which I am not shocked by. They hate the Pacers. They have been ejected from the – well, no, 2 times in a row now. You know who will be in the front row saving money from what he spent on being in the front row for all of the Knicks games?
Spike.
My man Gary V told us all this morning that he will be front row at OKC to dog the Pacers. So to piggyback on your question of whether people are interested in this, and obviously this isn't telling us the whole picture of whether these fans are excited for this new era of the NBA, but what it tells me is that people are invested in hating teams right now. Like very much like I watched the Knicks and cheered for a franchise that I actually hate more than the Knicks in the Pacers. There is investment, and maybe it's not the fan investment and it's the hater investment, but there's investment nonetheless.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to watch the 4th quarter. And if it's close, I'll watch it. I love to watch both these teams, actually, but against my teams. not against each other. I do believe OKC will win this game 5, maybe 6. Indiana is a good team. You heard. Coach of the Year, Kenny Atkinson from the Cavaliers. This team plays like a college team, 48 minutes, up and down the court. It's hard to stick with them. So they will hang in there. They're probably the best match from the East against this team. I don't know if the Knicks could have even hung with them, to tell you the truth.
Pistons.
Yeah.
Healthy Pistons.
Hey, why not? But it's fun to see a team like Oklahoma City, the way it was built. They're not a super team. You know, they bring over Isaiah Hartenstein. Fantastic. The Knicks missed him. The Knicks also missed Dante DiVincenzo.
Yes, sir.
Maybe they can get him back. Get some Villanova pride back.
With
there.
Jay Wright, too?
Yeah,
Get
bring
the
Jay
band
Wright
back
in.
together.
They're not getting Jay Wright, are
Just
they?
make it.
I
They
don't know,
might.
but
I think
They might throw.
it's a fun,
they might throw
fun
everything at 'em.
conversation.
Anyway, I think it will be a decent series. Again, I'm not 100% invested or interested. Like if it was Boston against the Lakers, I would have probably tuned in just to hate watch LeBron.
What if the Pacers win game 1?
Still, I'm watching the fourth quarter of the next game as well. Because I know
Not
the
even
next
the,
game.
not even the third?
No, because I know the next game,
They're gonna get blown
OKC will blow them out.
No doubt.
Maybe I'll watch game 3 a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm just not invested anymore in the NBA like I used to be. I'm just not, unless it's the Pistons, where I'll watch it from the beginning to the end. I wasn't even completely invested in the Knicks anymore. I'm a Pistons guy. I love that Pistons team, and I loved watching them. I don't love to watch either one of these guys. They do have some pretty good players on the team. I'm rooting for Rick Carlisle and the Pacers. I'm one of them. I'm rooting for the East. I hitch my wagon to the East unless Steph Curry's playing. So I say go Pacers. For the ABA, win it.
Now, Pete, right? I think it was Monday that he was on the other side of that,
He was.
and I called him out, and then
was.
now he's back on it. And what I was saying is, Maz, you're the guy that always wants to root for the Big Ten team or the team from nearby, but so you're back on that now.
I didn't know I was off.
You were the other day.
He was.
Thank you, Pete.
I was?
Receipts.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm
I'm rooting for the Pacers. I always was.
I too am rooting for the Pacers, and I'll tell you why. There is a part of me. There's one reason why I'm rooting for the Pacers. I want Rick Carlisle to win another championship. He won one with Dallas, and I believe it was 11, and I want him to get another one. I thought the Pistons could have won the championship with Rick Carlisle as head coach in 2004 as well. If they would have made the same trades that they made to acquire Lindsey Hunter and Rasheed Wallace.
Maybe Darko might have become something.
If you give, maybe not, but if you gave Rick Carlisle that same opportunity that Larry Brown got, I think Rick Carlisle could have won the title. I believe Rick Carlisle was done dirty by the Detroit Pistons at the end of the 2003 season. What he did to build up that team and to create a championship-like atmosphere in Detroit for Larry Brown to be just served on a silver platter, I have not forgotten that. I appreciate Rick Carlisle for his years here in Detroit, and so for that, I'm rooting for him. I had mentioned before that I think Rick Carlisle should be considered among the greatest coaches in NBA history over the last 50 years. Because if you look at some of the rosters that he's had and you compare that with the usual suspects of whom they had, Rick Carlisle has done far more with far less than any of those other coaches that you would consider to be on that list. And I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I appreciate your comments. I don't agree. I don't think Rick was ready in 2004. More importantly, P. Rick was not liked at all in Auburn Hills. And I'm not saying by necessarily his
The
players
didn't like him so much.
Well, the players, there was some that didn't like him, and they didn't like the way that he did it. But the
Players
administration,
didn't like Mike Babcock either.
within the actual
hated
franchise,
him.
beyond the players, he was not liked. And whether Larry Brown was on the shelf to take this team next, it wasn't going to be Rick Carlisle that year. He did himself dirty. He did not ingratiate himself to the staff. I was around the Pistons heavily at that point. I was working for the players at that point. No one was sad to see Rick Carlisle go. Now, what he did in over the next 20-plus years, he learned how to win a finals, and he learned how to get his teams to where he has. But this guy has been a journeyman for a reason. In fact, there was one point, I forget who he was coaching, but he was right in front of me when I had my heckler seats. And at a very quiet moment, I said, Rick, why does everyone hate you? And he turned and looked right at me, and he just said, I don't know. So I think that this guy overcame some maybe even better teams. I think that he dialed it up to be able to beat the Knicks. I think that the Knicks, honestly, on paper, are a better team. I think that Thibodeau is nowhere near the coach that Rick Carlisle is at his career. Now, on the back end of your point, I do believe now that he is that good of a coach, a future Hall of Fame coach, and a coach that could figure out a way to get an early upset in OKC to maybe kind of push this towards an equalized series. Because if they can get one game on the road and get that confidence, who knows? Because Rick is an experienced championship coach.
Guys, I don't mean to interrupt. We have some breaking news.
Breaking news!
Breaking news!
Breaking news!
Breaking news! Ari Meyerhoff's ex is reporting that the NFL Network has reported that Aaron Rodgers is officially going to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is it.
Shocker!
Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers.
Shocker.
Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers.
The story that keeps on giving, huh?
And we thought the Elon Musk, Donald Trump soap opera wasn't enough for one day. Get Aaron Rodgers added into the mix.
I would watch a show of those three, like on a trip somewhere, doing ayahuasca together.
I was going to say, you said
1
on
year
a trip
deal, by the
together.
way.
Was that
1 year deal?
no pun intended?
What did you
right?
say?
You said on a trip.
Yes. Well played, my friend. I did not mean that
Pun
pun.
intended. We all knew that was going to happen with Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
or did we? Or we expected it, but I guess until it was done, you never really had any idea.
Well, I think the Pickens and DK move, I think that told us a lot. I think that DK is a guy that's going to get along and not have an issue when he doesn't get the ball the way that Pickens does. And when you have a personality like George Pickens and a personality like Aaron Rodgers, there's a high probability of them not getting along at many points throughout the season. So to me, that move, not just bringing in DK, but then more importantly, getting Pickens out of town, sending him to Dallas, for me, the writing's been on the wall. We knew this was going to happen. There's no way that Aaron Rodgers was stepping away from his legacy with the season he just had.
I'm actually excited now to actually watch the Steelers. For the first time since the Steel Curtain days, I am back excited to watch the Steelers. Now, my buddy, my brother-in-law, Jersey Mike, and Luigi, my nephew as well, are the biggest Pittsburgh Steeler fans there are, and I can't wait to ask them how they feel about this. I want to know how Steeler fans actually feel about this, because when he went to the Jets, I actually thought, man, maybe. And I was like, I hope it's not a Favre thing, but it became a Favre thing, unfortunately, worse than the Favre thing, actually. So him going to the Steelers, they got some talent on that team. They're looking for a tight end, though. We'll talk about that when we go around the NFL. But they lost one of their tight ends yesterday, out for the year. Donald Parham Jr., by the way, who they got from the Chargers.
Yep.
He blew out his Achilles. So he's out for the year. They're back in now on that Jonnu Smith trade for the Miami Dolphins. We'll see if they get him because, I don't know. Freiermuth, I thought he was pretty good. But maybe they need a second one. I don't understand that move, but they still need a running game. But Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh for a year? Why the hell not?
We'll go around some more NFL. Also, we'll take a look at the Stanley Cup final from last night. Exciting finish. Dr. Jeff Pierce in as well. We've got Wheel of...
Yes. Get those super chats in. You guys were strong in that first hour. Make sure you smash that like button. Get your Super Chats in, though, so we can send this awesome prize pack to you.
But first, a message from Buddy's Pizza. They've been serving the original Detroit style since 1946. 79 years later, they have 22 locations in the state of Michigan. Fans can still visit where it all began on the corner of 6 Mile and Conant. Sign up for Buddy's Rewards to earn points on every purchase and receive exclusive promotions. Download the Buddy's Pizza mobile app and start earning today. Add some Detroit style to your next meal. Save 10% off your entire order by using the promo code 10MEAL. That's the number 10, MEAL. Buddy'sPizza.com. Buddy'sPizza.com.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us Friday, June 13th from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Nemo's in Corktown for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw and Ven Johnson.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Sports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Cue the eye of the tiger, guys. It's Ven Johnson law. Justice. It just means different things to different people, but whether it's a settlement or a verdict, justice is always worth the fight. And if you've got a case, contact the fighters at Ven Johnson Law today. Get that justice you deserve. Tough, tenacious trial lawyers. Ven Johnson Law. Get the fighter in your corner.
I know this is a sports show and not a news show, but this is like watching the absolute nastiest divorce of all time.
Oh, Elon and
playing
Trump.
out right before our eyes.
Oh.
Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, are throwing barbs at each other like you wouldn't believe right now as it's currently
Is it for real
unfolding.
or is it like WWE?
Man, you tell me if this is for real.
Go ahead.
Elon Musk.
First source, who's your source you're reading from?
Elon Musk.
But who's reporting it?
I'm watching it right now. This is his Twitter page. Elon Musk, 13 minutes ago, his official account. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. You tell me, Tom Mazaway, if you think that is a fake, made-up fight.
Can you just check that Elon Musk, make sure it's not Felon Musk? Did he really say that?
He really said that, and then he followed up with this 5 minutes ago. It is every second.
This
Wow.
is crazy.
Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Trump is losing his mind on Elon. Elon was, in quotes, wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. He knew for months what I was going to do, and he just went crazy in all caps.
Oh, man.
It is
All right.
incredible.
So
An
let me ask-
hour
What's
ago,
happening?
Donald Trump, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Now, for me, they wanted him so bad for the last 4 years. If they really wanted him to not run, to not win, and he's in those files, we would have seen them then. But the fact that we were promised them, and Pam Bondi is
She's balking.
hesitating,
She's balking.
as Pistol Pete would
Yes.
say. Who knows, man? I mean,
I don't know
there's
any of these people you're throwing out at me.
You don't want to.
Pam Bondi's our attorney
I
general.
love you, Maz.
Right? He doesn't
I
care.
love you. I want to be you.
I just don't even
I
know.
want to be you.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
I
to be honest.
want to be you.
Right?
I
thought
just
Musk-
want to be
I thought
you.
Musk and Donald were buddies.
They were.
Oh, they were.
until
How did it go bad then?
The big budget bill, or whatever
the
they
big,
call
the
it.
big beautiful
Beautiful
bill.
bill.
Yeah.
What budget deal?
So they just passed a budget
Yeah.
deal that
Okay.
kind of flies in the face of all the waste and fraud that Elon's Doge team found. So Elon,
Do you know what Doge is,
Right.
Maz?
Is that like is that Dogecoin?
Department of Government.
You're wrong, but you're not wrong.
I have not a clue, honestly.
I know. That's why it's
Department
not
of
even.
Government
I think it would take
Efficiency.
too much
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
to
I
try
don't
to
even want to
explain
know
that.
really
After
what
the
it
show,
is.
I know you
I'm
don't
never
wanna
going to
know.
have it or even know what it is.
Right,
So
you're not even
why
gonna care. You're not
what's
even
the
gonna
difference?
If they
You
don't have a
don't
batting average, Maz does not care.
Absolutely.
I don't care.
Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate that.
Department
They
of
weren't
Government
drafted.
Efficiency, Thomas.
Right.
What is
Does
it?
not care.
Department of Government Efficiency.
Doge.
What does that mean?
How
Right.
to govern effectively
It
with
doesn't
as
matter.
How to
little
not
people
waste
and
it.
and
You
You know
less
what today
money as
is, by the way?
possible.
Today is the 57th anniversary of the great Robert Kennedy being assassinated
Really?
in L.A., in Los Angeles,
Sirhan,
after he won the primary and was going to be president. He beat McCarthy, and Sirhan killed him. And he's still in prison, by the way, rotting
is,
away.
as he should
But
be.
they killed both Kennedy brothers, which is effing, it's a what a disaster.
hey.
And we're talking about Donald Trump against Elon Musk.
Right. Terrible.
so does this mean that liberals will start buying Teslas again?
I saw a Tesla the other day with a sticker on it, a bumper sticker with the cross through Elon's name.
Well, they have to do that so their car don't get vandalized.
Right, no keying the car.
One guy had one
They
that
have
said
to do
purchase
that.
in
Right about that,
2019.
Ryan.
Wow.
Hey, I just want to point
Hey,
out.
Ricky, how's my job doing over there at the FM, by the way?
It's in good hands.
good? All
man. I'm
right.
actually on
Good
right now.
Job, Max.
Wanted to check.
1051.
I wanted to see how you were doing, man.
So a couple of months, several months ago, maybe was it the end of December, early January, I said that Tom Thibodeau would get fired from the Knicks and
did.
Rick
Yeah.
Pitino would take over as head coach.
Yep.
Well, I got half of that right. Tom Thibodeau was fired, as you all know. Rick Pitino was asked if he would take the Knicks job on the Yankees broadcast last night. He said absolutely not. Oh. That's closing the door.
I got news for you. That don't mean a thing.
That doesn't mean a thing.
If you know Rick Pitino, that don't mean a thing.
50-year-old Rick Pitino, I would get. 70-year-old Rick Pitino, you're kind of old. Don't old men
Right.
say it how it is.
I know.
Like,
I want Jeff Van Gundy back.
That
Bring
would
Jeff
be
Van
interesting.
Gundy back.
That would be interesting.
Ankle biter.
I don't
he'd be
care.
able to- you think
He
he'd be able to
protected
do
his
that?
team.
Right?
Did he?
Yeah.
He
Alonzo Mourning, he grabbed Alonzo
How do you
Mourning's
protect a
leg.
team while you're latched onto an ankle, getting dragged around like
I
a
don't care.
mouse?
I thought that was one of the greatest things I've ever
Yes.
seen in my entire life.
It was
That's
up there
my
with your
coach.
buddy biting a girl.
That's my coach.
Unbelievable.
Let Stan Van Gundy go back over there.
Michael DeVries says Doge looking into Woodward Sports. I thought the one of the great departments should be DOPE, Department of People's Efficiency.
Oh, there you go.
And I would end daylight savings time.
Yes.
There's not enough funding for that group. There's not enough
I
funding.
agree with you on that.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
the perfect acronym,
Right.
though. That's for sure.
I was so disappointed getting back to sports that I just couldn't stay up long enough to watch overtime as the Oilers and Florida Panthers went to OT in Game 1. It was an awesome game. The Oilers took a 1-0 lead. Florida scores the next 3 to take a 3-1 lead. Oilers tie it up at 3, goes to overtime, and in overtime, with about 30 seconds to go, it was Leon Draisaitl making the play.
From McDavid.
What's that?
From McDavid.
I mean, 2 of the best in the game, and I think that, look, I know this would be the first Canadian team to win since 1993. I am rooting for it to happen. I just think it's good for hockey. I think it's good for the game, and
You're probably right.
I'm here for it.
I
I want the Panthers, but you're probably right.
I believe you fully divided the chat, my friend.
I did how?
Oh, well, we're learning a lot about some of our oldest followers and how they voted. That's for sure.
Oh, man. I can only imagine.
What do you mean? I give me an update.
I'm not calling anybody out specifically, but I know where everybody
Is it red or
sits
blue
out.
more positive?
Well, the Blues are making an appearance.
All right.
We haven't seen them for a while.
Anson's like Santa Claus. You have a list and you're checking it twice.
Receipts, baby. I
Listen,
love receipts.
the Stanley Cup playoffs have been great. Not as great as in back in the day, to be honest with you. But this series is very good. Obviously, 2 small market teams. Here we go again. Edmonton, the oil country, obviously, and Florida. Sunrise, Florida. I mean, small markets. It's the 6th straight year a team representing the state of Florida is in the Stanley Cup final, which is an oxymoron if you went back in time until Phil Esposito founded the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then, of course, the Panthers followed after that. And here they are fighting it out for the Stanley Cup. It's 3 straight years for Florida, for the Panthers. So it's impressive. But they should have had last night's game. But the Oilers dominated the third period and 90% of overtime. And they got the win. Their 2 best players showed up. And Wayne Gretzky, in between periods, basically mapped out the play that the game-winning goal was scored on. He literally said, this is what these 2 guys have to do. And they did it. He said, I just got lucky. Gretzky, man. The more I watch him and watch him on TV, he was a little stiff the first couple years. He's getting better and better. He's the greatest of all time. That's why I was not rooting for Alexander Ovechkin to tie him in goals. But it doesn't matter. If you take all the goals away from Gretzky, he still leads the NHL in scoring.
I believe you're 2 minutes past your allotted time for hockey.
Right.
You know what? Hockey's taking a crap on for this whole freaking network. Okay, give it a break.
Who do you want to
Stick
win?
And everybody else.
You want Edmonton?
Here is a problem.
No, I want Florida.
Why?
I know it's a tune-out.
Why
I
do you
know
want
it
Florida?
is.
Because they're American?
I just want the Panthers to win.
What about you?
I want Edmonton to win.
Everybody wants Edmonton.
And here's the problem with what's going on, though, too. Watching that game last night, first of all, it's not on network television.
Yeah.
It's on TNT.
And Kenny Albert's doing the play-by-play.
Kenny Albert's doing the play-by-play. And I don't want to knock anybody. Kenny Albert is as solid a pro as there is, but he's not an A guy. Yeah. He's just not. Just because you do a lot of games doesn't make you a special broadcaster. You need a special voice to call a series like this. There was a moment in the game last night in the third period where Edmonton, I think, hit the post or were very close to it. And all I heard it was dead air. It's like he didn't even see it.
I know.
And I was just thinking to myself what Doc Emmerich would have done.
Oh, God.
And he would have been screaming.
How about Gary Thorne?
In that moment. But you don't even have to go back that far.
It's not that far.
Doc Emmerich would have been screaming about that play.
Yeah.
And the play-by-play adds so much excitement. And to have kind of a lack of that in this series, I think just does not do the game any justice whatsoever. And
I had the volume low. I did not have it loud like I always do. When Sean McDonough's doing the game, I got the volume way up. This guy, I just barely had it on.
When did Doc stop calling games?
I think
2 years ago.
Yeah,
I watched something on him about 5 years ago, and there's not one announcer in the history of any sport that has used as many different adjectives or terminologies. Scuttled the puck, skipped the puck, slid the puck.
He's a literary doctor.
The guy is a walking thesaurus,
He
man.
is. And Marysville proud.
Oh, really? He's a Michigander.
Still lives there.
Very cool.
Yep. Still lives there.
Why did he go back there?
That's where he came from, and that's where he
I
stayed.
mean,
He came from
I'm not going to
Pittsburgh,
talk
actually.
trash about Marysville, but like Washington Township's right there. At least you're like close to stuff.
He's got animals. He's got horses. He loves his animals.
Okay.
He is an animal freak.
Okay,
Loves
now
dogs.
it makes
the
sense,
best.
son. That makes
Loves
sense.
dogs. You would love Mike Emmerich.
I always was a fan just off of watching that report because I've been commentating my Madden games since my brother's been telling me to shut the heck up. So seeing that report on him and just his mastery of the English language and his ability to use it on the fly, I can't say I watched too many of his calls, but I was fascinated by the guy.
Hey, can I brag a bit?
Yep.
I'm on the Christmas list. I get a Christmas card every year from Doc Emmerich and his wife Joyce.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Yep.
That's amazing.
I knew him since the Devil days when he was calling the Devils, and we just
Call you Tommy?
yeah. Yep.
He won't let me call him Tom.
Calls me
Stop
Tom.
calling me that.
I call him
Such
Tommy.
a good man.
You are a good man too, Mr. Mass.
Thank you. You break my chops a lot though.
Well, you give it right back. So.
All right.
And the peasants are done, so we should be good till next year.
I know.
Oh, yo, you were doing so good.
You were so
Anson.
good.
I just don't understand your hatred for a team.
Well, I don't understand
you're
how
not
you
from.
hate the Astros, but embrace the other cheaters.
I don't hate the
It is what it
Astros.
is. Okay, so we can get back into each other's stuff by fall, right? Because the corn and blue will be back.
Whatever.
I'm curious to see who's next on the NBA, by the way, speaking of announcers, because Mike Breen is very good. Bang!
He's fabulous.
I mean,
New York Knicks own.
Who's next?
Oh, Iron Eagle.
Iron Eagles.
For
very
sure.
good. Iron Eagles.
Is
For
that
sure,
a real?
Brian
is
Anderson.
that's not his real name. That's his screen name. Tell
Who?
me. Like, he changed his last name from, like, Iron Rockowitz to Iron Eagle,
No, he
right?
is the Eagle.
No, I don't believe that.
Oh, you're probably right.
Okay.
His son is Noah Eagle is tremendous as
I
well.
would
Yeah,
hear
he's
that.
very good.
I'd have that in my earphones listening to games and be like, Iron Eagle? Lou Gossett Jr. calling games?
Gossett
It took me
Jr..
like 5 years to realize his first name was Ian.
Oh, my God. That's so great. All right, guys.
Underrated flick, by the
Is
way.
Pierce here or on video
He'll be
today?
on his way.
Okay.
He'll be on his way.
All right,
You want me to do a couple of footballs?
Yeah,
also?
we'll take a break, our final
Okay.
break,
Let's
and
take
then
one quick moment to remind them to get in on this super chat. You
Oh,
have
let Anson
12 minutes to get in on the super
let
chat.
Anson cook.
Hey, Pete, should we double them up?
I think we need to do
12 minutes.
I'd
Every
say let's
super
double
chat
up.
gets double the
Yeah.
spaces on the wheel.
Let's do it.
Please smash that like button.
Double
Get us
it.
over 100. And get yourself some cards.
We'll be right back.
That too.
Before you do all that, make sure you stay connected with Woodward Sports on all social platforms. That's Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Stay up to date with all the latest sports news, live updates, and of course, some of that behind-the-scenes action that we got over here at Woodward Sports, man. Don't miss out. Hit that follow button right now and be part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network. Once again, we on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, and that's at Woodward Sports everywhere. Follow us now. We'll be right back.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Belegian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media. X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball's gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Oh, yeah, everybody, it's Feldman Chevrolet time, and you can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado for only $199 a month. Come on, how can you beat that? Also, you can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $259 a month. Come visit any of Feldman's 5 Chevy locations, and you can find them in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, or in Lansing.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Anson Wells, Braylon out today. Tom Mazaway with us. Ricky Burns, Pete Spivak. Expecting Dr. Jeff Pierce to come in wicked hot, by the way. He's coming in hot today.
He doesn't come in any other way.
No.
Right. No, legit.
There's no doubt about that. Do you guys, in the meantime, want to do our Wheel of Hope? Or you want to
they
wait?
got 7 more minutes
Okay.
to get in on that wheel with your super chats. And again, for the next 7 minutes, anything that you super chat in, we're going to double your spots on
All
the
right,
prize.
fair enough. In the meantime, let's go around the NFL. Shall we, Tom Mazaway, including news with Aaron Glenn?
Big trades, big moves. Who is starting? Who's injured? What does it all add up to? It's time for Around the NFL on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
All right, I already told you the big news of the day. We told you that Aaron Rodgers is the Steeler. 1-year deal. He'll be there for training camp starting in a week or two. And the guy that sent him to Pittsburgh, Jets head coach Aaron Glenn. Remember? Aaron Glenn said, well, we're not going to use you. I know you want to play ball, but sorry. And he walked out of the room. At least that's what Aaron Rodgers said. We never heard back from Aaron Glenn about that story.
No.
Do you notice they let that story die?
Yeah, he doesn't.
So that must be the truth.
Yeah, right.
That must be the
That's
truth.
got to be true.
Anyway, Aaron Glenn has decided the Jets are so bad that he is bringing Bible study in as part of training.
Yeah.
And a lot of the players are digging it.
I only
and
laugh.
why not dig
I
it?
only laugh because of the way that you said it. Like, the only reason he's bringing it in is because they're so bad. Like, if you're good, you don't need the
We
Lord.
need a miracle.
That's the only reason I laugh, because I think this is tremendous.
You do need
I
the
think
Lord.
if more-
They need it worse than us.
Forgive me for giving my opinion on this. If more people had faith in their life, we would be in a much better place.
Amen,
Period.
I
End
hear
of
that.
story.
Whoever
Amen,
your
brother.
God may be.
Yes.
Faith is key.
That's why I said faith and not a particular guy.
I hear that.
I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, you're right.
So
hear that.
I'm assuming this is optional because I
Yes.
would assume that there's some
Optional.
Muslim guys on the team and other religions and maybe even some agnostic atheists, what have you. So, I mean, like you said, Ryan, I mean, faith, praying to whoever your Lord may be, I think is paramount, man. Like, speak to something bigger because it's all around us.
No doubt.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to the Patriots. You know their quote. Their new coach is Mike Vrabel. Hard-nosed guy. Used to play there. Went to the Titans, of course, as a coach. Out-coached Bill Belichick in the playoffs, if you remember that. He used Belichick's own stuff against him, his own penalty stuff against him. I'll never forget that playoff game. Anyway, you heard about Stephon Diggs going out on this party yacht, giving out this bag of whatever pink powder was in there, and he caught flack for it. Anyway, there's a guy that used to play for the Patriots. His name is Scott Zolak. He was a quarterback, played for a lot of teams. He's their broadcaster now, and he's on WBZ. He said, I'll let him tell you what he said, but you know what? This guy might be cut before the season even starts. I'm talking about Stephon Diggs. Check it out.
Do you think Diggs should be cut?
Do I think he should be cut?
Yeah, you.
No, I don't.
I do not.
I came to this show yesterday with the but the knowledge of that it is on the table, that it is being thought of. And it's not just the boat. It's not just the boat. There's some other things that I've heard. That's all. That puts some things in question. Are you all in? Are you all in here? The videos look great of him working out. I've touted the videos. I know you need diva receivers. I say he shouldn't be cut because I think he would help Drake May in this offense and Josh McDaniels, because you would have a true viable guy that would set coverage. Right now, you still don't have a guy that sets coverage. I'm sorry.
This is a guy that's burned bridges on all three teams he's been. He's been a great receiver. Started with the Minneapolis Miracle. You remember it.
Yep.
That was famous, man. Joe Buck calling that game. Go to Buffalo, go to the Texans, all good teams. And he can't stay. So now he goes to the New England Patriots. And we all know they wanted T. Higgins. And when the Bengals signed T. Higgins, they had to go to plan B or C, and that's Diggs. But this guy, I don't know. He can't get out of his own way. What's your take on this, guys?
He's not good enough to do what he's doing in the offseason for a team like the Patriots. Team like the Patriots are an up-and-coming team in the NFL. They've got a really good head coach, a really good young quarterback, and they need to build a Lions-like atmosphere without the distractions. Stephon Diggs, to me, I wouldn't call him a great player. I'd call him a really good player, that if he wants to focus on football and be that locker room guy and be that team guy, I think he can have a really significant role on a really good team in the NFL. I think the Patriots are going to fight for that last wild card berth in the NFL, in the AFC, but they aren't going to tolerate this kind of stuff, I don't think. Do you think Dan Campbell would tolerate it in 2022 Detroit Lions?
He wouldn't have picked them.
So that's where you really are. I mean, you go back, they had Mike Williams and Brashad Perriman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you do pick what you got to pick when you're in a position like that. You can't fill every position with a talented guy. And so when you have a talented guy, you've got to go get him. They had an opportunity to get Diggs, and they did. But just ask yourself, because I think the Patriots are in 25 where the Lions were in 22.
Makes sense.
And if you think Dan Campbell would have tolerated Stephon Diggs in 2022 for this team, base your opinion on what will happen with the Patriots and Diggs. Ask yourself that question.
Diggs was electric at Maryland, but he went late in the draft, and I'm going to assume because of interviews. And then I will say that he was a great player at times when he fit into the team he was on. some of these last few moves that these teams have made to bring him into teams that already have good wide receiver cores, I did not understand. Like the Texans move was a head scratcher for me. You look at where New England is at right now, and it's interesting you brought up the 22 Lions. That's kind of where the Patriots are right now. They need culture guys. They've got a young quarterback that needs a guy like Kyle Williams to ascend, not a guy like Diggs to come in and take a whole bunch of reps, because he's not out there trying to be a mentor to anyone. I mean, this just screams Deontay Johnson 2.0, a guy that has all the talent in the world, who's on a different team year to year, and is this far away from being out of football entirely.
Yep.
I wouldn't keep him.
No.
Tell you the truth.
I wouldn't.
You got to make an example somehow. And this is his first year as a head coach of the Patriots, and he did well with the Titans. Just couldn't get over the hump. Never really had that quarterback to get him over the hump. I know Tannehill was good, but not good enough. Drake May, maybe he's better than Tannehill. Hopefully he is for Patriots' sake. Personally, I don't know what they're going to do at wide receiver. Running back, they seem to have done okay with, but wide receiver, not so sure. And that's a tough division, man. Tough division.
Kyle Williams is going to be a player, probably top 5 receivers in terms of production, maybe not talent, but he's in a great position to produce a lot. Good sleeper pick late in your drafts, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Hey, we don't talk about punters a lot. We got a pretty good punter in Jack Fox. Pretty damn good punter. But guess what? He is 3rd on the list of highest paid punters. It looks like the Raiders made A.J. Coles the highest paid punter. 4 years, almost $16 million. And you see Jack Fox down on that list there. They're all getting paid pretty well to kick the ball, especially Jack Fox. He doesn't get in the game very often. Coles has got to earn his money with the Raiders.
Right? I mean, Jack Fox, he could be out there.
What's he kick, twice?
Twice a month.
Right.
He's going to be out there.
But $1.5 million of that goes to his arm, though. Hey, Pete, since we got Doc in here, you want to spin that wheel real quick?
You want to do it real quick? You got it, buddy. Hang on. Got it. Ready to go? All right, here you go.
And in 3, 2, Rando Small spin. Appreciate all you guys giving me the super chat here with this outrageous final shot.
Good luck, everyone, here today. Everything shuffle 5 times.
Michael Waring has got the luck on his side.
Shuffle 5 times. I love these new sound effects, man. I got to have fun with these. There you go, guys. There's your wheel.
All right, Dr. Jeff Pierce here in the final 2 minutes of the program. How you doing, Doc? Our Michigan Sports and Spine.
Drill.
Fashionably late.
What do you got going on today?
A lot of business stuff today, but Carson Cigars, big shout out to those guys. Raised a lot of money for a great cause.
Absolutely. Tom Chilani, Dario Bergamo. This is the 11th year of that event at Freedom Hill, Michigan Amphitheater. Isn't that something?
Can't believe it's been 11 years. We were there when we were just a handful of people. Now it's over 1,500.
Isn't that something?
Love the Bergamo family.
Yep.
No, they do a great job, and we're always supporting it, especially from Athletes Unlimited and our charity. All those guys help donate to my charity too. So.
And the weather looks like it wanted to hold out for you a little bit, though.
Yeah. The sun's supposed to come out here.
Yeah, let's do it. You got any injuries to discuss, Maz? No, we don't either.
My microphone is busted, Doc, just so you know.
You're not
holding a stick mic all day. I'm not sure if this mic is even working. I can scream out to you.
No one can hear you.
That's great.
Nobody can hear you, Maz.
Okay, good.
Nobody can hear you. We appreciate it.
Summer athletic.
Give me some summer athletic advice.
What are you going to do this summer?
I walk.
What sport?
I walk a lot. I walk every night.
You think?
Yeah.
That's all you do?
That's all I do.
You don't want to get on a bike or anything else?
I got the dog, so I walk.
All right. So it's better than nothing. I mean, walking is – the thing is, if you walk, like a lot of people are like, how many steps did you get in
I walk
today?
for an hour.
But how many steps and all that. But the thing that if you are going to be a walker, switch it up. Don't just do that short gait walk. You've got to change it up. Like every 10 minutes, you should be doing something different. Meaning like doing a lunge, a side step, back step. Just kind of move it around. If you just – it's a good exercise, but it's not – when you really break it down, walking isn't the
It's not great.
It's not great. But it also can create tightening of your muscles as you age. So if you strengthen your muscle in a short step, when you extend out or you do the splits by accident, you're more likely to tear something. So you want to create that flexibility when you're walking. So do you know what I mean by a lunge? You know what a lunge?
Yeah.
Have your wife show you maybe?
Yeah. Hey, now let's go. I haven't seen that in a minute.
But no, a side step, a little two-step, kick your leg up, do some, switch it up.
Always doing the old.
The shoulder roll. I don't know.
Ankle weights.
I want to wear the weight vest.
There you go.
The weight vest isn't bad. The weights on your hands isn't bad. Holding things isn't bad. It's just changing it up. It doesn't replace a real workout, but it's better than nothing. I mean, people are telling me they're losing a lot of weight. There's a thing that comes up on my Instagram. Put your weight in. Put your height in. This is how many steps.
Yeah,
put your age
it's
in.
all BS.
It's better than sitting on the couch.
Right.
Okay, so it's beating that number. But as far as like a real workout, really, if you have the time, like everybody's like, oh, I don't have time. For you to walk an hour, that's a lot of time in your day.
Yeah.
If you could put 20 minutes in. If you jumped rope for 5 minutes, it'd probably be equivalent to what you're doing walking for an hour.
Wow. Well, thanks for ruining my day, Dr. Jeff. No,
Okay.
you're probably right. Hey,
Well,
we gotta
not
get.
probably.
No, you are right. We got to get out of here. MichiganSportsandSpine.com. Check out Dr. Jeff Pierce. Got to get you in another day, either
Wait a
tomorrow
second.
or next.
We got 2 minutes still. People
Ryan
kill me if we
doesn't-
get to
Ryan's late.
3:59.
Ryan's late.
I have 2 minutes over.
Anson's not used to it.
2
minutes over.
Oh, you got
got
all
it.
right. So I asked Tom earlier if he had gotten a physical in your office, kind of jokingly. He said not yet, so none of this. But I am curious about your guys' story. The very first time that you got a physical and you realized that the hernia test was part of the physical.
We're actually dropping the hernia test.
You are.
The prostate check and the hernia check has now been, it's not such
Is that like a Me Too movement type of thing?
Yeah,
or?
it might be. I'm not really.
Last time I
researching.
got my prostate checked, which was about a month ago, my doctor said the same thing. He's like, pretty soon we're not going to have to do this.
Wow.
No, and then Elon Musk came out with he's going to do away with prostate, so whatever that means. It is still the best check. I mean, the hernia check is, there's so much imaging now. The hernia came from years ago when Good Housekeeping was popular for your medical advice. But yeah, I mean, still getting a first hand on it. When you're doing a prostate check, it's almost too late because if you can recognize it then, it's almost too late. And there's so much blood testing now that's more prominent. As far as the hernia check, you're talking about sports, inguinal, all that. So at Sports Inspired, we do that big time. So I don't know where you're going here.
Well,
like the high school, the junior high physicals.
That's what it was. It was freshman
Like
year
the
before the
creepy
year
doctor?
started. I didn't know anything about the physical or what it was entailed in it. And,
Oh, wow.
And this doctor comes out and he pulls the glove down, lets it snap, and he goes next. And there's like 10 guys next to me, and they all take a step back. And they all just started laughing at me. I had no idea what was happening.
my gosh.
He's like, drop your shorts. I'm like, okay. He's like, no, both shorts.
Yep.
It was a shocker.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe that'll get the check going for your scary little moments. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Like on young kids, it's very unlikely unless you're like a birth defect. But it does, fortunately, like I want to do a show on things that are obvious. Like looking at your anatomy, understanding your stream of pee, when you go to the bowel movements, when you spit up certain things. Like these are red flags that people take for granted that can be, prevent on a big note, prevent cancer, things like that. So I was thinking about doing a show like that, and I made a funny with the Shake guy out of Rochester that where's your flexibility? This is really off color. Should we do this?
Sure.
So off color, meaning
1 minute.
Ryan said I'm
1
already
minute.
late
This-
anyway.
we'll edit the last minute. Your flexibility, are you more flexible to the right or are you more flexible to the left? Where are you more flexible?
Right, for sure.
Do you know why?
Why?
How do you wipe yourself?
With my right hand.
Thank you.
Look at
Oh,
that.
that's hilarious. Never thought about that.
I toned it down.
You heard it here first,
Did I
guys.
tone it down enough?
Heard it here first,
So you
baby.
should switch and alternate white.
switch.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, work your left. Work your
God
left.
bless.
MichiganSportsandSpine.com. Have
Shout
fun
out
at
Fox
Carmen's Cigars
2.
tonight, my
Love
friend.
it.
All right,
All
great.
right, we'll
Thanks,
be back.
guys.
We'll see you tomorrow. Woodward Sports.
That's great.